Well, here we are, NFT London.
Here we are.
A couple of nouns.
A couple of nouns. You look amazing, by the way.
Do I look good?
I think this might be the best looking you've been in all of your interviews, probably.
Wow. Wow. Well, that makes me feel fantastic. So, Aubtoshi.
Yes.
Everybody loves you on Twitter. and people seem to just love all your proposals. In
Yes.
the noun verse. Is the noun verse, is that appropriate?
The noun-iverse. Noun-iverse. So
Okay.
you're totally spot on
Noun-iverse.
there.
Very close. So many people do know about the project.
Yes.
And it's not only innovative and a forerunner in terms of what you've set out for almost 500 days now, but those that find out about it are very likely to want to emulate it because
Yes.
it's not just a great idea and intelligent and wise and thoughtful and empathetic, but in addition to that, it's effective. For those in our community, the NFT.NYC, NFT.London community that have no idea what the hell we're talking about, can you give kind of an overview? What are we wearing these glasses for, and what is this all tied to?
Yes, I love it, and that's perfect because when I run around with NounsDAO, I love doing interviews where I ask random people in the streets, which I will be doing later tonight at the London Eye,
Yeah.
what is a noun?
Right.
Right? And so the answers that I'm getting across the board are a person, place, or thing, right?
Yeah.
Or a specific noun. But the answer I haven't received quite yet, and I'm hoping that maybe this year it happens, but is a DAO, right? Nouns is a DAO. NounsDAO is governed through NFT token holders, and there's just one auction every single day.
Yeah.
So from that auction, 100% of the proceeds go into the DAO treasury, and then the only way to release any of those funds is by submitting a proposal and then having Nouns token holders vote to pass your proposal.
Right. Okay. So how many proposals have you made?
I myself have my second on-chain proposal that is currently, it's actually on-chain right now, so it's for Prop 166. And the voting actually ends in 2 days. So.
And you have 150 yeses.
I have 150 yeses.
0 no's, 0 abstains. It needs 49 to get passed.
Yes.
Okay,
the current quorum is 49.
And what is the total number of votes that could be cast? Is it 460 something, all the nouns that have been sold?
Yeah, technically, yes, exactly.
Okay.
We do often find some individuals who have a large amount of tokens could be active, but also some individuals who have tokens maybe are not so active within the community and they don't necessarily participate within the governance piece of it.
I see.
But I do think that the NounsDAO holds, a percentage, a much higher percentage of involvement of people who participate within the DAO than most other DAOs that we've seen, right? So we like to maintain that average of at least 30% of people participating.
You are adding, 50-ish ETH every single day to your treasury.
Yes.
That is a very significant increase to the overall ecosystem by which people have participated in to be a part of. What's the total amount of ETH/USD today in terms of November 2nd, 2022? Where are we at?
I think we're sitting up above 29,000 ETH in the treasury, which I think right now, today sits at around 45 million.
And we all know 1 ETH is equal 1 ETH.
Yes,
So all that really matters is there's 29,000 ETH in the treasury. So even your proposals are on chain. So to make a proposal, I understand it takes 2 DAO memberships. So either one human that is acquired to, or a person that has one and has had one granted to them for the ability to do so, or maybe somebody that has gotten 2 different people to grant. So what's the difference between somebody that has their own noun NFT that they've acquired themselves, or somebody that has one that's granted to them, either temporarily, I assume is what it is. So can you walk through that?
Yeah, you actually have an incredible understanding of the holder and the voting process, basically. But where Nouns is very unique, again, is that you can have this thing that we call delegation.
Yeah.
So you can delegate your token vote to an individual. I myself have one delegation right now.
Yeah.
It's a highly active holder within the community, but he's currently focusing on a specific AI project that he's been working on within the DAO, actually.
Okay.
He's a successful proposal person who just got their their proposal passed.
Yeah.
And so while he doesn't have necessarily enough time or enough time that he believes he needs to participate in the governance piece, because there are votes that happen quite often.
Yes.
He, at that point in time, has decided, hey, I'm going to get an active community member who might have the time to do that. That's why I'm going to delegate. There's also a program that came out of Prop House which is a smaller sort of grants funding piece of nouns, where people can put in proposals if they don't have nouns. So you do not need a noun token to propose there. You can be a normal builder. It's actually the place that I came into nouns.
I see.
That was my entryway. But through that prop house, around past with Nouns Agora. And so Nouns Agora is a strictly delegation noun site. So you can actually, on Nouns Agora, put your profile up. You could have one, Ian.
Okay.
And you could say, hey, I'm pretty nounish. Look at me.
I'm very
with my,
nounish.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't you see? It screams nounish
Exactly.
over here.
And you could say...
Everybody should call me the black nounish one.
The black nounish one.
The black nounish one.
Yeah, the Matrix meets like Game of Thrones. I don't know, somewhere in between. But you could then say, hey, these are the things that I believe in. This is why I want to participate in the NounsDAO governance. And then a noun holder can see your profile and say, hey, that's kind of in alignment with what I believe in as well. And then they could delegate you a noun.
I see. Okay.
So again, putting something on chain, right, would be a combination of, am I a token holder of 2 nouns? Do I have one and someone else is going to delegate me the one for the proposal? Or do I have 2 delegated nouns? And then that 4th final option would be a sponsorship. So my most current proposal was actually sponsored for me on chain by Toady Hawk, who himself is a noun delegate, but he actually has 23 nouns delegated to him at this point in time.
Interesting. So he has 23 nouns delegated to him alone, and then he could basically sublease a delegate to you, or he delegated his own?
No, he used his batch to then sponsor my proposal on chain, so he posted it on chain.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Now, we're here in London for NFT.London, and you are speaking on a panel with somebody else from your community and 3 other folks that you know really well.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about what you're going to be sharing at NFT.London? And thank you so much for being a part of our event.
Oh my gosh, of course. I mean, I went to NFT.NYC. Absolutely incredible. I have been to multiple NFT crypto events across the board, internationally and nationally, and I just, I really mean it, but you guys are just really setting the bar for
It was an amazing
what these
team.
events should be like. Incredible.
I celebrate them as well.
Yes, and like just, I saw Jody briefly out in the hallway and kind of told him, there's this way that your team kind of interacts with people that is like, it should be the playbook of what people do for events, right? Even just something as simple as sending me an email in the morning, hey, like here's your speaker card. Right. We would love it if you shared it. If you do, we'll shout you out. Yeah. So maybe sharing my speaker card was something I would have done naturally, but getting that poke to do it really got me to actually do it. The engagement that you guys have from your team is just absolutely incredible. So of course, as soon as we saw how that event was going down and I heard that there was going to be NFT.London, immediately we wanted to be able to participate in a larger capacity than just attending the event. And so we are on a panel. It's called the Nounish Panel. It's in the DAO track, and we will be discussing sort of what we are talking about here.
And that'll be tomorrow afternoon.
That is tomorrow afternoon. Good. We're very excited. I'm here with Shefo, Oxagami, Chris co-created, and Sammy. And so we are all going to be on the panel together. We all have, huge projects within the NounsDAO ecosystem, including sub-DAOs. Yeah. The other part about NounsDAO that's really special is that it's all CC0 and open source, so anyone can fork the code. Okay. So if you wanted to have, a very similar setup with your DAO, where you have an auction for token holders, and then you can have the whole governance piece of it, you could literally just copy paste essentially the Nouns code and then put into it like what your company and program would be.
How interesting. I think people are going to want to follow up and learn more about certain things that we talked about. So how would they do that? I believe that your bidding for the noun that's available each day is on a private website?
It's at nouns.wtf.
Nouns plural.
Nouns plural.
.wtf. And then as far as, is there a secondary market for people? Is there a primary place if they want to try to acquire a noun from somebody that already holds one? Is that OpenSea would be a place to go, or do you have that?
There's different places that we don't have our own secondary market.
That's what I was,
and you're not going to find nouns listed, or many of them listed on OpenSea. Right. People really hang on to these tokens, but I think a fantastic place that if you didn't want to just see the auction, see the proposal, see what's happening with the governance piece, which you would on nouns.wtf. Yeah. Nouns.center, so nouns.center is where you're going to see just this big, huge, hub for all the projects that are happening, all the art projects, all the builders, who are these nowners. Anyone that has a sort of nounish project within the ecosystem, they go through nouns.center. So that was put up by one of the noun members, CDT.
Okay.
And so he is this awesome, community member who obviously saw the importance of having this like one central location where we can kind of see what's happening.
And then final thing I wanted to ask you about before you wrap up, because I could ask noun questions forever.
And I could answer them forever.
I bet you could. Is you just shut down Discord.
Yes.
So Discord is now an archive of what was. It's no longer an active community building tool. And the explanation that I captured was Discord is too centralized. And we don't believe that people having to come to a specific server on a specific platform models after the consensus of our community and what we believe to be decentralization. Can you give a little more flair to that?
It's been actually the really brilliant part of the governance piece of Nouns is that the Nounders, who are the actual founding members of the NounsDAO, really take it upon themselves to always be checking themselves in the NounsDAO. Are we really following this like roadmap to be a decentralized autonomous organization? And so obviously like decentralization is a huge topic of conversation quite often within the DAO. And so during this process, it kind of came up where, just like how you said, Discord is centralized, right? There's even been talks of, them thinking about maybe shutting down the nouns.WTF site because there are multiple sites that you can actually access this auction.
The auction, okay.
That people have programmed for the nouns.
I see.
With the same sort of spirit of, you should be able to access it from anywhere. We don't want that one key place. That also opens people up for, attack potentially. But I think the biggest part of the Discord, as much as it was kind of a sad moment, people who have been there from the beginning, that's kind of their home. They check in every day in the Discord. But again, having that piece that almost like to gain any type of social attention, which is very, very valuable, especially if you're someone who's trying to put proposals up. You have to get those votes, right? You're going to have to go out and campaign a little bit for your proposal to tell people what it's about. So when you have that Discord, it ended up becoming this place. And then personally, this is how I feel as well, that in addition to all the other things I'm doing within the Nounish ecosystem, I had to basically like come to this Discord and make sure I've read every message that day to kind of understand what's happening in the community. So what we see now from the closure of it is actually something pretty special. The other Nounish ecosystems within the community have started their own Discords. Discords that were already started that we maybe had no idea about have gained dozens of followers within the last couple of days because people now have to connect with them directly. For example, like let's say, have you heard of Little Nouns?
I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar.
Yeah, so they are actually the first like official fork of the Nouns.
They forked everything that Nouns is.
They forked everything that they are and then made them little. And they're really cute, and their auction happens every 15 minutes. And so it's happening at a much faster cadence.
I see. So it's an experiment.
Yes.
It's an innovation and experiment based off of what NounsDAO has done well.
Exactly. The Nouns themselves always talk about themselves as a great experiment. But speaking specifically to the Discord, let's say I know about the Little Nouns, I understand their community, but in the main Nouns Discord, I also communicate often with like 3 very active Little Noun members, right? That might deter me from ever joining their Discord because I feel like I'm getting all my Little Nouns information from these people there, right?
Yes.
So I think the closure of the Discord might actually set a precedent and standard for other NFT companies because maybe, that 2021 NFT sort of world where that you had to have your Discord for your NFT company to be anything, maybe that's turning into, well, why not 50 Discords? Why shouldn't every project within your DAO have a Discord where we can kind of come to you and stuff too? And, I'm excited. Again, this just happened actually yesterday on Halloween, but they have been preparing everybody for about 2 weeks. And so in that, I think a lot of intelligent conversations have come about from the Nounders themselves, from Noun holders, and from anyone in the community about, how are we going to see these positives when the probably largest negative is that people are like, well, where do we go now? How are we supposed to get all this information? But it really actually opened up opportunities for entrepreneurs within the ecosystem to really like establish themselves. We've left now this little town square area, and now people have to go into like your building to understand what's happening.
Wow. Well, it sure is going to be good to have your team here. Thank you for all that you did personally to make the proposal for NFT.NYC. I think you believed in what could be for your community inside and a part of our community, and so we appreciate that. And I hope that this event here in London is even better than what you experienced in Times Square.
I'm beyond excited. I find it completely serendipitous that we are in the same location. And
right. I just connect with you. I'm like, oh, come on over.
I know.
I want to tell everybody your story.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's when I just brought all the noggles, the nouns glasses out too. So again, you look amazing. I hope that we can get some photos of you guys and your team in these noggles during our panel tomorrow.
I like it. Very fun.
Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. I'll be back again with another one of these interviews very soon.